Hello everyone, I'm Aaron from Sports 365. Here with me once again is my colleague Alex. So, as you all know, the 2023 NBA draft was yesterday, and so of course we have to talk about what the Heat did on draft night, as well as a few other stories concerning the Heat. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So starting off, in terms of free agency, he had a few notable free agents. Now, one of them is Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent played well for the Heat this past season, averaged 9.4 points and 2.5 assists in the regular season, but grew to 12.7 points and 3.5 assists in the playoffs. And I think it's fair to say that he probably wouldn't have made it all the way to the finals without him. So his free agency is definitely an important matter for the Heat. What are your thoughts on Gabe Vincent's free agency?
Yeah, he's definitely an important free agent. We should try to re-sign him if possible, although we should be careful not to give him too big of a contract. We've done that several times to free agents in the last few years, Robinson, but hopefully we'll be able to keep him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a straightforward thing in my opinion. I think as long as it's a reasonable contract, he should resign him. If he wants an excessive amount of money, then I think that he should move on and just trying to find a different point guard, especially considering that the Heat might be trying to make some big moves this offseason. At least I hope they will, because that's really what I feel they need to do. So yeah, I'd like to see him return to the Heat, as long as it's on a reasonable contract. I'm pretty much fine with it. So we're really on the same page on that. So as usual, the Heat are in trade rumors involving big name players. The Heat haven't actually made a big time trade in a while, really since they traded for Jimmy. I think. I mean, Kyle was kind of notable, not quite on the same level. And Damian Lillard is currently linked to a trade with the Heat. There are some rumors about that. You know, obviously Lillard wanted the Blazers to trade the third pick in the draft to add some veteran help to the team. They didn't, which I didn't really expect them to, especially in a draft like this. So future is kind of uncertain, but it makes me seem like they're not will actually get moved. What are your thoughts on the David Lillard trade rumors involving the Heat?
Yeah, well, I do think Lillard's actually going to get traded. I think the fact that the Blazers did not trade the third pick, instead picked a younger, possible franchise level player, signals they're going into a full-blown rebuild, which means they'll have to trade him essentially. And I think the Heat are one of the most likely landing spots for him. We can offer a good package, and he does bring a lot of scoring, which is the main thing that we're missing. So I think there's a good chance that it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could definitely put together a competitive trade package for Lillard. But as far as whether or not he'll actually get traded, I'd probably say yes. I'm not sure if it would be in the Heat, but considering what the Blazers have done, I think it's probably going to happen sometime this offseason. And obviously Dame got a lot of on-ball creation, scoring. It's definitely what the Heat need. My concerns with that would be his age, injury history. He has had some serious injuries lately, and probably most of his contract. I mean, he's on a really, really big contract, and as I said, he's in his mid-30s now. Had some bad injuries lately, so I would be concerned that he could decline significantly next season. Maybe he won't, but the players in that age bracket and they've suffered some serious injuries relatively recently. That has to be a concern. But I think whether or not it's Lillard or someone else, I think he will really make a big trade to add some scoring. Seeing some rumors about the possibly being linked with Zach LaVine, which is a more appealing prospect in some other ways. Less injury history, obviously, younger on a smaller contract as well. So we'll have to see what happens, but Lillard is definitely a possibility. Now, as far as they actually did on draft night, the Heat did not have a second round pick in this draft, and they did not acquire one, but he did have their first round pick, the 18th overall pick, and they drafted Jaime Jaquez Jr. Apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. And he spent 4 years at UCLA, averaged 17.8 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 2.4 assists in his final college season. There's a lot to like about him. His work ethic is really good. Also quite good defensively. He made the Pac-12 All-Defensive Team twice in 2021 and 2022. And definitely, a scorer definitely can create for himself in isolation. His three-point shooting is well, at least in this last college season, wasn't that good, but I think that's definitely something that he can help him improve. So definitely an interesting pick there at number 18. So what are your overall thoughts on Heat's selection at number 18 this draft?
Yeah, I think Jaquez is a very interesting player. He definitely does bring some scoring. Like I said, he needs to work on his three-point shot, and once he gets a three-point shot, he'll be able to contribute a lot of scoring. And I also like the fact that he's already a good defender. Even a lot of players that become good defenders in the NBA, a lot of times they don't really come out of college as solid defenders. They're kind of turned into good defenders. So I'm excited to see him play in the NBA for the Heat.
Yeah, me too. I saw a lot of people being disappointed with the pick, and sometimes going a bit further than that. It kind of tends to happen with draft picks. But yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting pick. I think he'll probably be able to contribute a bit more right away. Jovic was more of a project pick, although I expect him to play a lot more this season. But Jaquez seems like someone that he'd expect to really contribute immediately. Good. I like the scoring that he brings to the table. Obviously, has some stuff to work on, especially his three-point shot. But I think he brings a lot to the table, and yeah, like I said, excited to see him play. And of course, we'll get a first look at him in summer league coming up pretty soon. So yeah, definitely an interesting pick. Of course, wishing out for the best, and it'll be good to see what he can do. So there you have it. Few storylines. Heat, made an interesting draft pick on draft night. Certainly one that divided opinion a little bit, but like I said, I'm optimistic to see what Jaquez can do, and the Heat haven't really made any major mistakes in draft picks for a while, so I think he'll probably be good, but interesting to see what he do moving forward in this offseason.
Yep.